21 women, 1 gold medal, 12.5 laps of pure, tactical warfare. Today, we find out who rises under the lights and who breaks under the pressure. On the starting line, the tension is suffocating. To the left, Scotland's Eilish McColgan, carrying the roar of a home crowd and the weight of history. To the right, Beatrice Chebet, the Kenyan prodigy with a finishing kick that strikes like lightning. The pace is brutal. The lungs are burning. In this arena, there is nowhere to hide. Who has the heart to take the crown? The gun is up. The clock is ticking. Let's see who takes the crown.
5,000 metres then, anything around 15 minutes or quicker would be very, very respectable. That obviously would be 3 minutes per kilometre or 72 seconds per lap. Kenya looking for their 5th consecutive gold, incidentally. There's been no non-Kenyan winner since Paula Radcliffe in Manchester back in 2002, when the British athlete, the English athlete, set the Commonwealth Games record of 14:31. And this one has gone off pretty slowly, Rob. I don't think this is going to be a sub-15-minute jobby unless they really pick it up soon.
And maybe one of the likeliest reasons it would be, Tim, is if McColgan, who's just running behind Dominique Scott of South Africa, if she feels it is too slow and wants to turn it into an honest pace. That is where she is most comfortable, at the front, delivering metronomic lap after lap after lap. Chebet and Husseini dominating things at the moment, but they've gone to the front and kind of slowed it down. Chebet is an excellent athlete. Maybe she, along with Chesang, who's tucked in on the inside for Uganda, maybe she could be the biggest threat to McColgan's bid for a truly historic double. And McColgan, if you've been watching her for many years, you'll already know this, she has such a long stride that she has to position herself an extra half a yard ahead of a pack, because she runs the risk of having them clip her heels, and that's why she's positioning herself just a little way off the front. This is where she's most comfortable, Tim, and if she can turn it into an honest pace, maybe one by one she can whittle them away.
Well, this is what McColgan is best at, going to the front and just grinding it out. 11th in Eugene in the 5,000 metres, 10th in the 10,000. She's got the London Marathon coming up on October the 2nd. She's confirmed that will be her debut. Really exciting debut, that. But what you know with Eilish is that you will get good, honest racing every time. She's not scared of a hard, consistent tempo. Back to this 5,000 metres, 4:44 at 4 laps. The first kilometre was a 2:58. McColgan still leading from Dominique Scott of South Africa, but Busiene and Chebet of Kenya in 3rd and 4th, and then Sarah Inglis of Scotland having a good run. Then the Ugandan pairing, Chelangat and Chesang. You can see Busiene on the outside there, just staying off the curb, not really being stretched by this. I don't think Eilish has really cranked it up yet. She's biding her time. We're still inside the first 2 kilometres, remember. That's 4.5 laps done now. And they're on something just inside 15-minute tempo. Nothing particularly daunting, but it is quick enough to begin to whittle down the field. There's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 beginning to get away.
Yes, and this is good tactics from McColgan. She didn't want that huge group. She won't be feeling uncomfortable at all at knocking out these 71s and 72s. Scott looks really composed in 2nd place, 7th here in the 10,000 metres. They're coming round to lap 1 or 2 of the back markers who've got the slower PBs. I think it's the athlete from the Solomon Islands who hasn't run inside 19 minutes, but Scott looking good in 2nd. It's a little bit ominous. The 2 Kenyans are quite happy at the moment, Tim, just tagging along for the ride, and one by one this little group will begin to be whittled down. This is good running though by McColgan at the moment.
Well, I think we know that McColgan has got the extra gears to wind it up if she needs to. The Kenyans and the Ugandans will know that. One of the Ugandans beginning to drop back now. I think that's Chesang, back in about 8th place. So a 9th place, in fact. But McColgan calling the shots at the moment, completely in control. They went through 2K in 5:55, and almost identical, slightly quicker 2nd kilometre. 2:58 the 1st kilometre, 2:57 the 2nd kilometre.
Only 6 now, Tim. One by one, they are falling off McColgan's pace.
Yes, interesting, isn't it? Because it's quick enough to trouble many athletes. Around 14.50 tempo. McColgan, remember, has a lifetime best of 14.28. That is supreme world class, one of the quickest Europeans ever. But she leads from that Kenyan pairing, Bushiene and Chebet in second and third. Then her teammate, Sarah Inglis, having a fabulous run here is English. 9th in the 10,000 here, maybe heading for something better. The athlete from the Lothian club works as a school teacher up in Langley, British Columbia now. But McColgan with the 2 Kenyans and Inglis, and behind Inglis, Sarah Chelangat of Uganda. Scott just beginning to struggle now, the South African, having to let this quintet go.
And also, Chelangat now just beginning to allow a couple of metres to grow. There's a few back markers they're going past, but all of a sudden you've got Scotland in first and fourth. Inglis running really well here. I thought she did well in the 10,000 here, third in the national champ. She's in PB shape this year, just outside 15 minutes, but still Luciani and Chebet tucking in behind McColgan. Another 2:57 kilometre. This is what she does best. It's metronomic pacing, and one by one they are falling by the wayside. Her quest to follow again in her mum's footsteps going well. Liz McColgan had a gold in Auckland in the 10,000 and a bronze over the shorter of the longer races. McColgan's eyes, though, are firmly fixed on a second gold.
Well, they're playing to her tune at the moment. Now, if Yathenye wanted to disrupt her race, she could. She could come round McColgan and speed it up or slow it down, just disrupt the lovely, steady tempo that McColgan likes. She almost runs into the back of Eilish there, struggling to keep away from those long, rangy stride of McColgan. The heels coming up very high. It's so difficult to run behind an athlete like that. But I can only assume that Yathenye is comfortable, that Chebet is comfortable, and Eilish will know full well, because she comes through this time. It's 4 laps to go, pretty much a mile to run from now. And they're getting away, these 3, and Inglis is having to let them go. That could be her saying goodbye to a medal. She's run superbly, Rob, to hang on this long and be dragged away from most of this field.
She has put together a brilliant race. The Scot in fourth, but so too has the Scot in front. The athlete I would be concerned about from McColgan's point of view is the smaller of the 2 Kenyans in third, Tim, because she's the only one in the field who has run faster than McColgan over the 5,000 this year. McColgan has the quicker lifetime best between herself and the Kenyan in third, but the youngster, who's only 22, a former world junior champion, she's an African champion. She's a really, really high-quality performer. She was on the podium in Eugene as well. She's run 14.46 this season, and I think she looks slightly more comfortable than the Kenyan just ahead of her in second place.
She is undoubtedly the danger, is Beatrice Chebet, the African 5,000 champion. Looks very comfortable, doesn't she? What's she got in those Kenyan legs? McColgan, though, is a canny racer. She will be thinking on her feet, calculating all the time. When do I wind it up? When do I click it up another notch? When do I click it up another notch? Almost like turning up the volume on a radio, just putting the pressure on the athletes behind her. She's looking okay, is Eilish McColgan, coming up towards 4 kilometres at the end of the straight this time. And Chebet, you're right, Rob, looks ominously calm and simple here, doesn't she? They went through 3,853. There's kilometre splits, 258, 257, 257. And this is 4K now. There it is, another 256. She has cranked it up a little bit.
She's run it at her own pace. It's the perfect tactic for McColgan. You could argue she's slightly better as the distances go up, and she will be well aware of the danger posed by the tiny figure running just behind her. I think Hussaini is having to work really hard to stay with McColgan here, but Chebet has got a really economic style. She's a tiny figure in contrast to McColgan, but with 2 laps to go, the Kenyan, who is tracking the long-term leader from Scotland, looks poised to strike. Will McColgan be able to respond this time if the Kenyan does go?
Well, three of them away. They are undoubtedly barring disaster, the medalists. Inglis is still in fourth place. Markoch back in fifth. Scott of South Africa in sixth. But this is the battle, and Chebet there almost looked like she's chomping at the bit, ready to go. When does she kick? But McColgan will be expecting this. Has she got something in her armoury to cope with the inevitable attack from at least one of these two Kenyans? The little figure of Chebet, Beatrice Chebet, almost jogging, it seems, on the shoulder of Eilish McColgan. Happy to run wide on the bend, running another 2 or 3 metres there on the outside of lane 1, alongside the Scot. Bushiene back in third place. We mustn't discount a 500 to run, Rob, and it's anybody's race.
They are all getting ready for the big, big strike for home. And listen to the roar as they hit the bell. Bushiene gets to the front. McColgan has her stride checked. Can she find anything on the last 400 to stay with the two Kenyans?
Well, she's got the speed, has Eilish McColgan now, with 350 metres to run to stay behind these Kenyans. She's almost chopping her stride there, that long raking stride of hers, the back kick exceptionally high. Has she got the speed? Is there fatigue in those legs after the 10,000? McColgan behind Bushiene and Chebet. Kenya 1-2. This is like the men's 10,000 metres with Kiplimo tucked behind two Kenyans as Chebet kicks off the front. McColgan reacts, but maybe a little too late. Behind Bushiene, the second Kenyan, a glance over her shoulder. She will be third, but Chebet is gone and away. And the World Championship silver medalist will not be caught now. That's an extraordinary increase in pace. Fabulous running from Beatrice Chebet. Kenya will take gold in the 5,000 metres. She has blasted away. That's 25 metres in the space of 150. She's opened up. It's going to be gold for Kenya. All the
And there you have it. In a final lap that brought the stadium to an absolute uproar, Beatrice Chebet finds a way to win. With a turn of pace that felt like lightning, she found another gear when it mattered most, holding off a massive charge from Eilish McColgan to claim Commonwealth gold. A masterclass in patience, a masterclass in power. The former world junior champion is now the Queen of Birmingham,